When the Site C dam is complete and the reservoir is filled, more than 30 kilometers of Highway 29 will be submerged under the Peace River. BC Hydro and the BC Ministry of Transportation are taking steps to build new sections of the highway between Charlie Lake and Hudson's Hope.
The Halfway River section is one of them, and it will require a replacement segment of highway that will be approximately 4 kilometers long. And it will require a new bridge at that location that's over 1,040 meters in length.
The new bridge will be built 500 meters north of the existing one, so Conway says drivers shouldn't be worried about substantial delays.
They can expect that there will be short delays along the way. We don't expect stoppages to be longer than anywhere between 5 to 15-minute delays.
Although delays won't be long, he says the construction will take some time.
The construction period will last approximately 3 years. The segment and the bridge are expected to be concluded in 2022.
The Eifage Infracon Halfway River joint venture was awarded the $100 million contract in October. Conway says the Site C project is covering the costs.
The project pays for these costs because it's a project impact, and the impact is a result of flooding. So these sections need to be ready to go prior to the reservoir being filled in 2023.
Conway says BC Hydro plans to start construction in the spring. However, a United Nations Racism Committee is calling for Canada to halt construction on Site C and 2 other major resource projects. We now go to Christian Davino with the latest on this developing story. Christian?
Thanks, Lochlyn. The Elimination of Racial Discrimination Committee wants Trans Mountain Pipeline, Site C Dam, and the Coastal GasLink pipeline all to receive approval from affected First Nations groups. Until that happens, they're requesting that Canada puts an end to construction immediately for the 3 projects. Now, continuing our conversation with Site C spokesperson Dave Conway, he says BC Hydro just wants to move forward.
Well, we remain committed to work with Indigenous communities to build relationships that respect interests of Indigenous communities.
When CJDC reached out to Trans Mountain, they declined to comment. Coastal GasLink did not respond, but Conway says BC Hydro has the support of many First Nations. However, the committee's report says they don't have the free, prior, and informed consent of all affected Indigenous groups. It adds that the UN is disturbed by law enforcement's forced removal, disproportionate use of force, harassment, and intimidation, and escalating threats of violence against Indigenous peoples.
In previous legal challenges brought forward by West Moberly and Prophet River First Nations, both federal and provincial courts have determined that BC Hydro has met its duty to consult and accommodate First Nations on the Site C project.
The UN committee previously demanded a halt to the Site C project last year, but this marks the first time it has called for a stop to the Trans Mountain and Coastal GasLinks projects. Fort St. John, BC, for LNG founder Alan Yu wants this challenge to be shot down.
I say that they are misinformed because there have been years and years of consultation. There has been legal challenges.
On Saturday, hereditary chiefs of the Wet'suwet'en First Nation issued an eviction notice to Coastal GasLink on their project near Houston. However, a December 31st ruling by a Supreme Court judge stated that the company was lawfully conducting work. An injunction notice was also extended to protesters, saying blockades have harmed construction to the $40 billion natural gas pipeline.
They are not the only ones giving social license to the project. Also, there are more First Nation groups that are in favor of this. So it's not just about the race.
Back in November, BC's United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples bill was put into law. It mandates the provincial government to include First Nations groups when discussing policies, laws, or projects that affect them directly. Now, so far, the provincial government has refused to intervene. Christian Davino, CJDC-TV News.
Salon and barber services provided by Skinovations. Be swept away to a world of peace and tranquility at Skinovations Salon and Day Spa.